things are both good and bad. Man, life reminded me today that you can't control anything. It keeps really humbling me, like especially for people like, maybe you and me who are really trying to control all things, right? We are trying to control all our things. We're trying to grow a business, we're trying to get results, we're trying to get sales, and grow our revenue and so on and so forth. And when you succeed, you start feeling like you have control. But in reality, you really don't sometimes. For example, my girlfriend, I expelled a girlfriend who's not here, unfortunately. She had to go to an ER, and they found out that she had some kidney stones. Now, I'm not there, and I'm broke right now, so I can't really just send her money and say, hey, go to private. Like I can't really do anything, right? And I'm doing already everything that I could, and that I can in the form of earning money right now. And beyond that, I can't really do anything more than that. I can't just flick my fingers and create money out of thin air. And you could technically, but even if you have skill, like there's limits. For example, somebody may want to buy from me, but then they want to delay by like a few days, and well, that's outside of my control, right? You can't just force them to do it. And here's another thing. I came to the shop, to the coffee shop, and then boom, I spilled everything on me. Look at this beauty. Well, I was bound to happen. I went to, in the last 2 years, I went to coffee shop for like 400 days or something like that. Like 3 out of 4 times I've been in a coffee shop from the last 2 years. So that was just bound to happen, but it really shows that sometimes you don't have control over things. You can obviously influence things. You can, practice not to spill coffee, like be careful. And I was careful the entire time, but one day shit is gonna happen. We're not gods, we're not perfect. We lack that control. So you have to remember sometimes that you really just cannot control things, and life is gonna keep humbling you. So keep pushing hard, but let go of the control. It's a very interesting dichotomy to take apart, because on one hand, we have to think about, okay, let's do more. You control how many sales can you do, like how much work have you done, etc., like, right? So like all the improvement is based on the fact that we can improve. So there is control, right? Well, there is, and at the same time there isn't. So it's an interesting thing to think about, and to find peace in that. Like you could work for really hard on something for a year, and then it just disappears in front of your eyes and you can't do anything about that, right? And that really makes you think to not really take life too seriously. Just enjoy the game. Like to me it's just a game. I'm just playing life, given the cards that I'm given, and I'm trying to enjoy every part of it, even when it sucks. And even if you try your hardest, like things could fall apart and your life will probably improve, but you still have to remember that you don't control anything. So don't take it too seriously. You don't take seriously your games if you play any kind of video games. When you finish, you don't take anything away from that into real life, unless you play esports. But still, like you play in the game, you get some score or points or whatever, and you don't get to keep that. And that's same in real life. It feels like we have things, but we don't truly have anything, because it can slip away from your hands any second, and you have to work through that all again. Of course, there are some things that we get to keep more than others, like knowledge and skills and experiences, but even that could just get stolen. Like Stephen Hawkins, like he could walk, and now he can't. Now he can't do anything, but you could fall, like you could trip like him and lose your memories, have amnesia, and you thought you had that, but even that can slip away, and it may feel scary, but which it is kind of scary. But really, if you think about the fact that everything is transient and the fact that you're gonna die, I know this vlog is getting a bit heavy, but if you really think about it, then you get to enjoy every single part of it. enjoy the fact that like today you get to do this, because tomorrow you may not walk or die, or like you may not live even, right? So imagine like I'm walking right now, right, talking to you on camera. Imagine tomorrow I cannot speak anymore or walk anymore or even think, right? And then you're about to die, and then you wouldn't be thinking like the thoughts you'd have is something more like fuck man, I wish I could appreciate that, like that ability more, so imagine, for example, you're broke and you're angry that you're broke and you really need and want money, right? And I do too, right? Like if I don't get enough money in time for my surgery, then it could atrophy and shit. But at the same time, if you spend all your time on being bitter and angry and sad over that, and then you die, then have you lived life? Like, you'd regret the fact that you've just been angry over this thing. Like, you could have still lived your life and enjoyed it. Like, it may, like, you'd look like these silly people who like walk around and like, yeah, I'm broke but I'm still happy, and you can work hard and still be happy. Like, it doesn't take away from that. But if you die tomorrow, at least you'll be like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, I died, but I was still happy, I still enjoyed my life, instead of thinking like, holy shit, I just wasted like years of the life that you may only have once. Like, we don't know what happens, but I think you should probably live it as if it is only once, because nothing tells us otherwise. You wouldn't want to risk the fact that you don't get to live at all anyway afterwards. So enjoy it for what it is, even if it's shit. And it's, of course, it's easier said than done sometimes when you're not working on your sleep and your diet is really bad, and all these different things. But try to get into that position. Try to work on that, because most of the time you do have some kind of choice. Maybe working so much is not worth it if you're not sleeping well, or if you're eating like shit, or if you're feeling bad in general, if you're burnt out. Now, of course, in some cases you may have to work so hard anyway, because you have family to feed or other responsibilities, and that is commendable, and maybe you can even find joy in that, in the fact that you're doing it for them, and you're doing it for them because of love, because you love them. So you can enjoy your work even if it's really boring or really hard, even then. Life I think is still a gift no matter what, because the alternative is not being able to experience anything. If you compare all of your experiences to death, most of the time you still be kind of grateful that you can experience things. Like, the fact that you can even experience anything is a gift, because the alternative is nothing. And that's also, for people who are depressed, it's a really hard concept to understand. I completely understand, because I kind of been in that situation too. But I feel like once you're out of it and you get to this mindset, you really start. It's probably going to be really hard to get into depression, because at the end of the day, it's perception of things that are happening to you. And yeah, otherwise, today has been a great day. I've done 23 DM reach outs. It's kind of like a system where I sent them one reply, which is very open-ended, and then it just says, hey, are you able to chat, and or are you free to chat, do you want to chat? And then they say, obviously, most of the time yes. And then the second message is more personalized. Like, if they don't have a channel, then I just ask them basically if they do, and if they do, then I specify which channel it is. And then from there, so that's the one I want to aim for, like 23 of those messages. And then from there, I actually would start to give them like a lot more specialized advice in text, and then lead to 50-minute call and so on and so forth. The advice here, which is really speeded up for the whole process for me, which is a little bit hard mentally to think of it like that. But if you have let's say mini tasks, like 50 tasks, where you have multiple steps, so 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say, and you have to do that 50 times, it'll probably be a lot easier to do step 1 50 times and then follow with step 2 50 times. This is called pipelining, I think, or pipelining the tasks. and batching them. So you pipeline them, and well, pipeline works only if you have multiple people working the same thing, but you can batch the tasks. And then that will optimize it greatly because you would not be interrupted, because usually step 1 requires you doing a few things, and if those steps are the same and the step 2 steps are different, then you have to transition between the 2 all the time. And by just focusing and batching in one step first, you get to really optimize your speed and get things done faster. That is my insight from today, and that's how I've been able to like 4x my, or like 2x at least, my speed. Actually a lot more than that. Oh yeah, essentially. So that is that. All that heavy shit together with the inside. I hope that's been helpful, and I will keep you guys updated with more stuff. And also, I'm thinking of actually making more dedicated videos, and we'll see how that goes. I don't really know how it's gonna go because I'm shit at editing. I might have to wait a bit until I can earn more, and then delegate that to some editor, and then do like video reviews and stuff like that. But I think at least for now, what I can do to mitigate all of that is I'm gonna make, since I cannot edit afterwards, I could edit actually, but my computer is really fucking slow as well, and it's gonna take forever. Like I just combine like 30 minutes and 2 30-minute clips into one, and the render time is like an hour, and like fucking no, imagine if it was actual edit. So yeah, no thanks, I don't have time for that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically just prepare everything beforehand, make a slide, like a presentation, and then just go over it in one take, and maybe practice it 1 or 2 times on my own, and do one final take, and just that's the video. I mean, that's gonna be pretty interesting. If I can actually pull that off and get some good views, that'll be pretty interesting, because that's the minimal effort and high output kind of thing. So yeah, let's see how that goes. I don't know when this video is gonna come out, but maybe before or maybe could be after that one. So see you guys later.